Alright, so just going to talk shortly about the pets. Spectator mode, not really going to talk a lot about it. I'll be probably doing some spectator mode games after this. I do think it's a really good feature. Of course, the interface for it here probably leaves a little bit to be desired. If you don't know the players involved, if you don't have like a good idea of the rating of the top of the ladder, it can sometimes be hard to figure out maybe what's a really, really interesting game. I do wish there was some way to showcase maybe the rating of the players, maybe even the score in the game, so you can see if it's even worth joining anyway. Not going to talk a lot about it. We'll talk about it more when I actually use it. What else? A bit of interface, a bit of client fixes, particularly interesting. So I don't know if this magic resist change means that all melee champions now get 1.25 magic resist per level. If this means that all melee champions now get 1.25 magic resist per level, then I really like it. I think this is something I bring up almost every time there's changes like this in the patch notes. This makes it more consistent. Now you don't have to remember, especially as a new player, like you don't have to remember like what champions get magic resist per level and what don't. You can argue it doesn't really matter, but it's just removing those like small inconsistencies where some melee champions do get magic resist per level and some don't. Removing those just makes it easier for newer players to catch up in knowledge about the game. There's no reason for those inconsistencies anyway. If it turns out that this just makes Amumu ridiculously strong and powerful, unlikely, but if it turned out, then you could balance some of your other skills. There's no reason for the magic resist per level to be a differentiating factor between melee champions. Curse of the Sad Mum reduced to, so he gets 20 off his ult cooldown at level 1 and 10 off. I think this is a good change. I mean, Amumu jungle is pretty much non-existent, and I actually like playing Amumu jungle. He's definitely in the top 3 if I have to jungle. I do like playing him, and I think with these so many both new champions that are jungling and new ways of playing champions have come out, like Mundo. Well, he got nerfed a bit, but Mundo, Shyvana, what's the last one? Oh, I'm gonna look really stupid now, but I can't remember the last one. But there's so many new junglers come out there, so that clear. I mean, Udyr used to be the one, but there's so many junglers in play now that clears the jungle really, really fast. And try to like put pressure on the buffs of the enemy team and try to counter jungle. And Amumu responds really poorly to counter jungling early on. He does not fight well against almost anyone. Almost every jungler is going to beat Amumu in a fight early. And Amumu needs to pick up his levels. He doesn't respond well to getting his jungle stolen, and that's kind of why he faded out a bit. And I'd be happy if he can be playable again. Any buffs? A little bit of health, incinerate mana cost, and quite significant reduction. 30 at the highest level. Molten shield, fix the box. So half duration, just about, and half cooldown, and that's not too bad a change. 8 seconds, though, pretty long time. This makes it more useful for powering up stun. It's like, actually, this probably helps Annie, because now she can, before when it had 30-second cooldown, if you want to use it to power up a stun right before a team fight, you kind of end up with, it's kind of hard to time with the 30-second cooldown. Now it's a little bit more forgiving to just use it to charge up stuns. Little bit of movement speed to Cho'Gath, nothing amazing about that. Mundo, so as I said earlier, Mundo got really popular as a jungler, even to the point where you consider banning him. It kind of turned out that he's a really strong tank, and he's a really strong counter jungler / sort of just clearer. He just clears the jungle really quickly. His ganks are decent enough, and he's like, once he gets level 6+, he can dive with the best. So I think nerfing him is actually not that bad an idea. I mean, it's not that bad. I could definitely see him still play it. I think what hurts him most is the ult cooldown. But I don't think it's going to kill Mundo. Relia buffs, hard to argue against. I mean, she just plumped all the way out of existence once she got nerfed. I think it's fine. Fix the bug. Kog'Maw, small nerf. Yeah. I'm fine with that either way. Hard to argue with. Lee Sin. If I could go on a long rant, Lee Sin, I think. So it's kind of one of those champions, right? He got put in the game, no one really played him. He's just like, oh my god, this is complicated. Then he got a bit of a buff, and everyone's like, holy shit, Lee Sin is great. And he started getting really, really popular. And then he's just sort of been hacked away at him over the last couple of patches, nerfing him, realizing he's still really popular. And even with this change, I think he's still going to be really popular. I think they created a monster, and not every like. I still think he's one of the strongest champions for jungling and top lane control early in the game. Like he can harass most people out of top lane. That's the point. Lulu nerfs a little bit. I don't think it's going to affect her too much. Maybe I was playing Lulu wrong, but I was actually maxing the E, not the little hands anyway. Maybe I was doing it wrong. Meditate, mana cost reduction. Duration change to that seems reasonable. I don't think it's going to make Yi popular, but it's hard to argue. I mean, so it's kind of like the Relia buff and the Annie buff, the Amumu buff. It's like take a champion that's really not even in play and buff it a little bit. It's kind of, you can't really argue. There's no counter argument to this. I mean, Yi is basically not in play right now. And if they feel like this is the kind of way they want to buff in, then I can't really argue against it. Bullet time now deals physical damage. Good chains. I don't like those high. I think all AD champions should have most of their skills do physical damage. It just makes sense. You're gonna go. If you're playing an AD carry, you're going to go into a last whisper at some point in the game, almost guaranteed, right? Some point late game, 30-35 minutes, depending on how the farm is looking, how many kills you pick up. Definitely no later than 40 minutes, but at 30 minutes you start building towards your last whisper for sure. Having skills that do magic damage just makes the character really clunky for late game. Because suddenly you're doing magic damage, everyone has 150 or more magic resist, and your skills aren't doing anything. It's not even worth stopping to ult for over in the team fight, because you have no magic penetration. You just do no damage to most of the targets, particularly the targets you want to do damage to, which is the tanks that are running in your face. They just run through your ult and don't care about it. I think, to be honest, I think you should stop trying those like hybrid things with AD carries. Just make them do damn physical damage, and then balance them if they have to. It works better. Kog'Maw being sort of a weird exception. Not going to talk about him. No added range unique. More magic resist per level. Reckless swing. Cooldown increase. I ban Olaf. I'm actually starting to ban Olaf. So I can't really argue against the nerf to him a little bit. I think he really sort of took off in top lane as a champion that's an extremely strong counter pick against a lot of champions like Fiora, Warwick. He just blows them out of the lane. He works really well against a lot of champions. There's some champions that work well against him too, so it's not like he's the end-all, be-all, mighty top like someone like Warwick is. But I definitely ban him. If I plan on playing Warwick, I'm banning Olaf or not picking him before I'm not playing against Olaf. You will absolutely get destroyed. Probably still will. I mean, this is nothing. 1 second on his reckless ring. It's not going to change the power in that matchup. Ryze. Base attack damage increase because that's what he needed. I like this. I think, again, consistency. I think they should just make... I don't think they should differentiate AP champions on their missile, on their auto attack speed. Like... Just honestly, I think they should just make them all the same speed. Again, it's the consistency thing. It's like new player to the game. You're trying to learn to last hit with your auto attack. The last thing you need working against you is the fact that they fly at different speeds. Like it's hard. There's 100 things to learn when you go into when you start out playing League of Legends. One of the last things you need to worry about is how fast your auto attack moves. Like you don't need that when you start playing the game. It doesn't do anything balance-wise. Like this, you could do this change for every single champion, AP champion, and it wouldn't actually make them stronger. It would just make them more consistent. So, I don't think they should differentiate on missile speed. Mana ratio down by 1%. So if you have 1,000 mana, so that's 10 damage. Let's say you have 4,000 mana late game. That's 40 damage. That's quite a significant number. 40 damage ish late game. Ahead, of course, you get a bit of ability power increase, but you only have 240. I mean, of course, once you finish your Archangels will have a bit of ability power, but that's academic because it's so late in the game. Well, base damage increased. Oh, that's a pretty good increase. Of course, you lose the range. And the cost the same. No, of course, that's with, so you start with, let's say. And you're probably still going to do a bit more damage at level 1, for sure. At the early level. So the early lane phase, you're probably still going to do a bit more damage. You lose some range, so it's harder to land there. Interesting. Can't really think about it. So he's going to do slightly more damage, but it's going to be slightly harder to land. Or make him slightly more vulnerable to take damage back. Room prison. Mana cost reduced. I mean, I think overall, what this is going to do is I don't think it's going to kill Ryze, but it's definitely taking a bit of his sort of I'd say in the late stages of his laning phase, he's going to be a little bit sort of, I mean, not even. I mean, he's just going to do the same damage on his Q. I mean, I think it's taking his laning phase down a bit, I guess, is the main intent here with the range reduction. They want him to be not as ridiculous and harasser early. Need a better Ryze player to comment on whether this actually affects him much at all. Sin's base, again, same thing. Take champion that's never played, this case Sin's, to buff him slightly. Hard to say much about. Same thing with Siva. It's like, Sivir, never played, let's give her a small buff. Success. Duration of execution decreased to 5 seconds. This is a good bug fix. Speaking of, Infuse will no longer target allied minions. Why does Ignite target allied minions, or enemy minions rather? Shouldn't that be fixed? Well, it didn't fix it. Seriously. If they change it right, if they change the game right now so that Ignite can no longer target enemy minions in the lane, the first time someone needs to kill an enemy minion with Ignite, I will donate all my riot points to him. Because I don't think that it's ever going to be the case. That you're gonna go, man, if only I could have ignited that minion. Or at the very least, as far as summoner spells targeting minions go, can't you just make it so that you have to hold down shift or something to target minions? Or something equally stupid that no one will ever do. God damn it, that is useless every time you ignite a minion. Maybe it's just me. I suck at clicking. My hand-eye coordination sucks, so I'm the only one igniting minions. Ah, Swain. Nothing much. Udyr Turtle Stand Shield Reduce. I'm actually quite surprised that they're nerfing Udyr a bit. I think he's already eclipsed I think in almost all positions he was already sort of slightly eclipsed by better picks, both for laning top and for jungling. But peace to that. Wally Bear. And then there's the big one, right? Warwick. Poor little Warwick. What has he ever done? What has he ever done to anyone on the balance team? I mean, of course, he started to be really, really popular lately, particularly with the nerf to some of the champions that could lane him well and out late game him. Like Irelia got a nerf, so then Warwick kind of stepped into the spotlight. A lot of the champions that Udyr also got some. A lot of the champions that you would beat Warwick with and actually out late game him with sort of got less popular, and then Warwick stepped into the spotlight. So it's hard to argue that you shouldn't nerf him, and it's hard to argue that his Q isn't the skill to nerf. I think the very first thing I said before, I remember something I said before I played Warwick in lane. Like before I played Lanewick, when I was playing with Jet and Cirque and those guys from Guild Wars, I actually said to them, I think, that Warwick's Q is the best skill in the game. Like pre-nerf, like when it did a 20% damage at max rank, and it healed 100% of the damage dealt. I actually said that Warwick's Q is the best skill in the game. If only all his other skills didn't suck. Of course, his ult is very, very good, but his two other skills are cute. They're not. I always said, like, if his W wasn't so bad, because you don't need this W. His Q is like the best skill in the game. Now it's not the best skill in the game anymore. I hope they took the 80% away when they did this. I mean, so what they've done now is it just does 80% of the damage at max rank. I kind of hope they took the 80% healing away, but I doubt it. Probably didn't, but I wish they did. I wish it healed for full damage at least. Otherwise, Warwick's gonna suck a bit. Maybe. It's probably still gonna be okay, but you know, every time I miss a kill because of this, I'm gonna cry inside. Shillian can no longer level up Remind at level 1. Remove the noob trap from the game. Turret-based damage Turret base damage decreased, but armor penetration and damage to minions increased. Hooray for no numbers in a patch, in an important patch notes. I think I would assume maybe here the point is that it does the same damage to minions, though I kind of wish this was more specified what it actually meant, because last hitting on tower is obviously a very important thing to do, and I have no bloody clue if this changed anything. I'm sure that a lot of the very competitive players are already way on top of this change, but I have no bloody idea what this does. I'm sure like everyone watching this has already read about it. I'm just not slow. Champion skin names. Oh, you sneaky bastards. They're just trying to sell more of them. Actually, this is not a bad idea. I like this. If you see a skin in game and you want it, it's easy. You know that sometimes, I mean, you can probably always find it if you just look at all the skins for a champion, but it's nice just knowing the names. There's quite a lot of skins in the game by now. I can't always remember all of them. Something I always, I mean, speaking of selling more skins, the reason I said this is because what I think one thing Riot should do is they should allow you to buy skins on the after you pick your champion. When you're selecting skins, you should be allowed to buy them on that screen. They'd sell like twice the amount. I would impulsively buy so many skins that I'd never use again. I'd go like, man, I'm the I'd win like I'd carry like a game on brand, and I'd feel, man, I'm the best brand. Now I'm just gonna buy a Frostfire like brand, and then I'm gonna impulsively buy it next time I play him, and I'm gonna suck on brand and never play him again. There you go. One extra skin sold that you wouldn't have sold otherwise. Fine. Deathfire Grasp. I mean, all this really did was just reduce the cost of grants. I mean, actually, this makes Deathfire Grasp slight. I mean, so it lost. So it gives 20 more AP, but it lost a bit of damage on the active. This, I think, is what happened here. The active does slightly less damage, but it gives 20 more AP. I think this comes out to. I mean, all this, but I think that damage-wise, you do a little bit less damage than the active, but of course the 20 more ability power makes your skills do a little bit more damage. So overall, it works out to damage-wise to be slightly more damage. You don't get any mana regen, but screw that, mana regen doesn't matter anyway by the time you build it. 10 gold less doesn't matter either. But the cast range increase is pretty nice and significant because if you're playing a champion, like say, I mean, what's a good example? Playing someone like Mordekaiser and you're trying to burst with Deathfire Grasp, or even, I mean, just a lot of champions, you're trying to burst with Deathfire Grasp and you're having things with long cast range. 750 cast range is actually quite long. You can use Deathfire Grasp right before people get in range for other skills if someone's running towards you. You can just like, it's very nice that Deathfire Grasp outranges your other skills, because then if someone's running at you, you could Deathfire. You don't have to like hold your other skills until he gets in Deathfire Grasp range, and then try to use all your skills before he gets in range to hit you with whatever he's hitting you. Your Deathfire Grasp can be used when he's in range for your other skills. So I actually think it's just makes it a better item. Now has Grievous Wounds active because we want to give it an active that makes no sense whatsoever except for very specific matchups. Maybe if they made like all the skills apply. To be honest, I'm not even a fan of half healing. I actually hate this. So I retake it. I hate this Grievous Wound thing. I hate the 50% healing reduction. I'd much rather have heals balanced around no healing reduction, or maybe even just like less healing reduction. Like maybe make all those like healing reduction things like 20 or 30% healing reduction, and just make them more common. Not make them a big deal. But peace to that. Don't care really. Don't care really. Sunfire Cape damage finally coming back. That was the worst nerf ever. I don't think it's really gonna make it. Well, it got nerfed from 40 to 35, and it pretty much dropped out of existence. No one bought it. Maybe people will buy it a bit again. I love Sunfire Cape. It's a nice item. I like getting it. I hope it's useful again. Will of the Ancient costs 400 more gold. I thought a bit about this, and I think it's going to make me more likely to just sit on the for champions where I'm going to get Will of the Ancients. If I don't, so I think what this is going to do is so you have the Hextech Revolver giving 15% spell vamp, and then you have the Will giving 20% spell vamp, and now it costs 400 more gold to get the Will. I think that what this is going to do is that unless someone else on the team is benefiting from the Will, let's say I have a Rumble or Vlad top, and I'm laning something mid that wants the Will of the Ancient, a Mordekaiser, an Ari. If I have Vlad or Rumble or someone who benefits from the spell vamp top, I'll probably get the Will at the same pace I would normally get it, which is one of the first or second item. If I don't have someone top who benefits from it, let's say I'm some physical damage champion top, like Jarvan top, or whatever, Olaf top. Can't really think of anything. There's lots of champions top that don't really benefit from it anyway. Probably just gonna have it sit on the revolver much longer. I consider upgrading a lot of other items first, and only use the Will upgrade when I'm running sort of into inventory space issues. Also, it's 12% for the revolver because I'm derped. Let's change the revolver. It's 12%. Sorry. So you get 50. Still, same conclusion regardless. It's a lot less attractive to upgrade quickly. Nothing to say. Bug fix. Summon a heal base value reduced 100. I mean, it's a reasonably significant nerf, particularly early on in the game. I don't know if this is going to make AD carries not take heal. It definitely makes heal a lot less of an attractive skill for solo lanes. I feel like you have top. Sometimes you have some champions. Sometimes you have champions like Tryndamere, Vlad even sometimes in some situations. You have a lot of champions top that sometimes take heal as a way to be more aggressive in the lane, to secure more farm in the lane, and then escape the inevitable ganks or kill attempts. It's definitely going to make it less attractive to take that skill. I mean, as long as support champions can take exhaust, I don't see AD carries not take heal. If you had a choice between exhaust and heal as an AD carry, I think it would be a lot closer with this. But if your support still has exhaust, and your choice is between heal and ignite, probably still going to see heal on a lot of champions. And I think that was all.